action. We have seen the last 2 weeks the Family Research Council, it's already been attacked and shot up because of Southern Poverty Law Center reports, terrorization, stalking. We've already seen them file a lawsuit. We've seen the D. James Kennedy Center, mainline international Christian church that reaches tens of millions of people a week. D. James Kennedy, super mainline Christian. But they have come out and said the same thing. Camille Paglia came out and said today that we're going to be covering, and she's a lesbian, but also a historian and researcher and a smart lady. She said this transgender stuff with kids is child abuse. Because you're telling a 3-year-old, you're a boy, but you're really a girl, or you're a girl, you're really a boy. If people grow up and want to identify something else, I'm a tolerant person. I don't hate them. That's their issue. But to have government and schools sexualizing children, I mean, if it was a man at the park coming over to your 5-year-old son and saying, I think your little girl want to get in the ice cream truck with me, you think you had a new serial killer, he'd go to jail. But when they do it in the name of tolerance, it's happening. But I'm digressing here. They're filing suit. Diamonds and Silk are looking at filing suit. I'm looking at filing suit because the Southern Poverty Law Center, with its $60+ million we've now discovered offshore, Weekly Standard's reporting on that, and they're finding more money every day. They are listing myself and hundreds of other people, well, thousands total, in this national database that they create, this shadowy multinational organization with ties to the CIA. They are going out and just putting people in the midst of white supremacists and other unsavory groups and terrorist groups, and then Amazon and everybody else is taking the database and saying, oh, D. James Kennedy, you can't sell your books on Amazon. Oh, D. James Kennedy, you can't be part of our program that we say any charity can be listed here as a searchable function. So they're being excluded in a discriminatory way never before seen. I think it's wrong if you own a big bakery not to bake a gay couple's, cake. But I'm a libertarian. The point is, if they don't have the right as a small bakery to do that, how then can you tell Christians that they can't say marriage is between a man and a woman? And even if it's hateful, and you say some church says they hate people, which the D. James Kennedy group and others aren't. It's their free speech right, isn't it? So this is real censorship. This is real electronic gulags that Matt Drudge and others have warned about. It's here. And we're in these databases, and we're being refused service across the board. We have real bona fide damages here. I have standing. I don't particularly want to sue, but we're looking at who to because we have to stand up for ourselves. Here's the headline. Attorney announces lawsuit against CNN on behalf of the American people. Joni points out how CNN continues to blast Americans as white national radicals, and for CNN calling on alt-left rioters to show up at events and cause havoc, who have now been listed as terrorists. So they called the Antifa to go out and be violent. It's like Don Corleone telling, one of his hitmen to go kill somebody, Luca Brasi. He's just as guilty as Luca Brasi. Joni says CNN made a slip-up and publicized the Southern Poverty Law Center list on their website as their own when they realized it 4 hours later they took it down. Southern Poverty Law Center has conservative Americans and some of the country's greatest institutions listed as radical terrorists, 917 groups tagged as hate groups. So she's taking action. She has standing because she's an American. She's a conservative. She's a patriot being listed as a white supremacist marked for death. And she's a lawyer currently involved in multi-jurisdictional federal and state litigation with heavy focus on employment, contractual disputes, non-compete trade secrets, and wrongful death issues, both plaintiff and defense. Maybe she's the lawyer I should get for a suit. I mean, I'm being damaged. It's already like $7 million this year already. Work closely as a corporate legal advisor, contractual issues with the board of directors, the board of trustee issues and related for corporate entities. She announced a lawsuit against CNN on behalf of the American people that are being targeted as radical terrorists, close quote. I mean, it's like they're saying we're Adolf Hitler. This is marking us for death. This is serious psychological and cultural terrorism. Joni, CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, the Southern Poverty Law Center. I've talked to a bunch of the top lawyers. They all say you've got open and shut cases, but 2 years of litigation. Why on earth have they gotten so radical? And why have you been forced to take action?
Well, you know what? Are you seeing me okay, Alex? Because I lost you.
I am seeing you. So go ahead. Thanks.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened is, we've all been, I've been watching this go on for the last couple of years, and you made a great point earlier on. You are a connection expert, and people can see, oh gosh, this doesn't look right over here, this doesn't look right, but I'll tell you when it all came together for me. And listen, I'm a little late coming to the party, but you know what? Sometimes that's good because by the time you get to the party, people got all the small talk out of the way and they're ready to get down to action. I'll tell you what really got me on board and off the couch. 3 weeks ago, I watched as Michael Moore, he had a bad day that day. His show bombed, and he was on with Don Lemon, who is just a race baiter, just he cannot even be called a journalist because that's an insult to journalists. But he got on CNN, and he was being probed by Don Lemon. And he made this statement, Alex. He said, Trump is a rapist and he is raping the United States. And if his supporters have a chance to redeem themselves tonight, if they denounce him, but if not, they are complicit to rape. And I want to tell you something that got me off the couch. And I called my nephew, who is a great guy, first year at Liberty, Corey Jones, and I said, Matthew, I need to know about this Twitter stuff. I need to know. And we talked, and I said, I'm going to take action. And I'll tell you what, in 3 weeks, Alex, we now have over 25,000 people that have signed up for this class action lawsuit.
Wow, I didn't know that this exploded like this. Joni Turner, congratulations on standing up for our free speech against these bullies. They call us Nazis with no evidence. Putting people in a group, not letting them have commerce, demonizing them, shutting them off from jobs, firing them, bullying them, beating them up. That's what the brown shirts did in Nazi Germany.
Well, that's exactly right. I'll tell you, Alex, what happened is, and I've had a couple people ask me, well, why not MSNBC? Well, everybody knows that MSNBC, they're idiots. They're a clown show. And so when you go and listen to them, anymore, I mean, people don't take them serious. But why CNN is so, they have gone from lying to the American people, which was a crime in and of itself, but to lying about them, Alex. And what they have done is
That's right. They're attacking the American people. Hillary got in trouble for saying half of Trump supporters are deplorable. They're saying all of you are rapists.
Oh, rapists, Nazis, and what they're doing. And Alex, this is so good, and I can't even tell you how good this is. But what they are doing is they're creating a false narrative to create a group, and then they are funded. They are funded by the same people that the Southern Poverty Law Center is funded by. Then they're going out and they are calling their wolves and Antifa and all of the Black Lives Matters. Like, what is that? But and all these radical groups that hijack these names, and they're coming and they're putting maps out, Alex. And you touched on that right before I came on. They are putting maps out, and CNN accidentally put it up as their own map. It's the hate map, that Southern Poverty has up. And what they're doing, Alex, is they're creating this narrative, and then they're calling and paying these guys to come and attack us. And it's crazy what is going on. And you know what? I just said, I looked at the TV and I said, no more. If you think you're getting away with this, you're wrong. I'm coming after you. That's all I said. I'd never even heard of Periscope. And I heard of Periscope the day after my nephew again told me about it. I got on there, and now we're 25,000 strong, Alex.
Well, let's go over this lawsuit because they want to sue gun manufacturers. They want to sue cities and police departments till they collapse. But they don't have cases. They're losing their cases everywhere. Again, I've talked to top lawyers in Austin, D.C., New York. I mean, I've got some of the top firms, and they're ready to file the lawsuits. And they say all these cases where we've got the letters back from major credit card companies, letters back from major online companies saying we're not going to do business with you because you're listed as a hate group. I mean, we have it against the companies and the Southern Poverty Law Center, open and shut, total discrimination. Why would they be so bold? What are they thinking? You can't just say somebody's a rapist and that somebody's Hitler and then put them in a database to discriminate against them when you can't do that to any American. I mean, this is crazy.
And look at this one, Alex. Have you seen this one? And I loved how you were talking about the back page news stories. J.P. Morgan just gave $1 million to the Southern Poverty Law Center. James Murdoch. I want to tell you something. You've got a cause of action against them too. J.P. Morgan, a financial system, just gave $1 million. You can't find this anywhere. CNN, kind of put it under the radar.
They go around and pass the plate. A bunch of Hollywood stars gave $1 million apiece to it in the last month, namely George Clooney.
Oh, listen, I have George Clooney's here from Cincinnati. I have he was one of my first little dates. I used to do a little talk show with his mom, Nina. And I can tell you that he was as silly back then as he is now, but, not as well known. And he's as left as you can get. I mean, look, he married, I don't know. I think she's Lebanese, his wife. And, it's Hollywood. But the thing is, Alex, what you have put your finger on it's the connection. People think that these are occurring. It's the connection. It is all connected.
This is mass racketeering, classically bullying on a mass scale against the American people. And they think libertarians and conservatives are so nice, we won't fight back. Again, you're a lawyer, you're an expert in this, but I've talked to the top lawyers. They say it's cut and dry. That if people are going to get in trouble for not baking somebody a cake, you can't just deny people because they run the website Jihad Watch with very respected groups just showing what jihadis are saying and doing. You can't deny them on PayPal because they've been listed as a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. And it expands out from there. Over in England, if you criticize Islam, you're getting arrested. Or if you make fun of ISIS, you're getting arrested. I mean, this is crazy.
It is. And you asked a question just a moment ago, and it's so funny watching you because I could tell your mind when you were saying your head explodes. I know how that is because it connects so much that it's so easy to get off on a tangent because it all makes sense. But I want to take you back to something that you had said earlier about, you were asking about, the legal grip that this has. But, Alex, the Southern Poverty Law Center, it started out as being, okay. But then just like everything else that the left has done, it's been hijacked. And I'll tell you, what is happening now.
Oh, yeah, it's been turned into a new Clinton Foundation with 60+ million offshore. They say that's probably not even legal for one of these tax-free groups that's supposedly, out there. It got started to give black people and other poor folks who are discriminated against in the South money to sue, which is laudable, but it's basically never even done that and is now this mysterious cutout group. And I've had high-level CIA people, not just people like Steve Pachenik, who's run major operations, point out that he was involved setting them up to infiltrate law enforcement to look for white supremacists, but that was never really done. They instead use it as a group to take over law enforcement, just like the ADL has been caught breaking into police stations and stealing data. Go ahead.
100%. And the thing about it is that when you start making connections like this, people go, oh, it's a conspiracy. Well, I'm here to tell you, I was a prosecutor before I went into private practice, and the largest crimes that are committed, the ones that affect people the most, they start as conspiracies, but it's all connected. And why this is so powerful, and getting back to what I wanted to say to you is that you said, why do you think that they are, being so bold and coming out now? Well, Alex, they've been quiet as they have snuck into every one of our institutions. You think the media has gone bad? You should try fighting in this court system. And what they've done is they've been quiet all these years. That Obama, oh my gosh, #1 traitor. He should be put on trial, but we won't go there. But what's happened is...
Sure, for folks that don't know, explain to them as a former prosecutor, the Southern Poverty Law Center and others, they go, take people to galas, give them cash awards, infiltrate their lives, bring lots of nice ladies to the little galas and parties. It's really a cult that takes over your local government. Then Loretta Lynch tried the Strong Cities Initiative to federalize law enforcement and bring in UN advisors.
I'm telling you, and when they start up or how they have to get there, a serial killer doesn't become a serial killer because he looks like one. He's a serial killer because he looks like, a George Clooney or somebody that he can get people in, and then he kills them. So these people that are looking so good, the Southern Poverty Law Center, what could they do? I'm thinking they're down there helping the poor people in the South. No, what they're doing is they're working with CNN and a lot more powerful people, and they are targeting. Let me make no doubt about it. They are targeting a group. They have a group specific in mind, and then they are funding the wolves that are going to come in and we have no freedom of speech anymore. I have people that are contacting me, they're being shot at if they have a Trump sticker. I mean, this is huge. It's not just a small case. And
tell folks how many people you now have on your class action suit, because obviously the media is not going to cover this.
No, well, I have been contacted by a lot of media, but I've refused to talk with them. I was with Bill Mitchell just a little bit yesterday. We have 25,000 now those are singular people that have signed up. And listen, Alex, these people have given their full names, their addresses, and their phone numbers. These people aren't messing around. They're not putting on burqas or covering up their faces saying, well, these are like, here's where I live, this is my phone number, and we're coming after you, CNN. And I'm telling you, it's going to explode. And every day that I am working on this, the case gets larger and it gets more concrete.
This is riveting. I'm so blown away that my producer got you, because I mean, the media, I haven't seen any coverage, so I figured they were covering it up or just waiting to try to spin it or demonize you. But let's walk through then how you woke up, why you got upset, when you started this, and how it's gotten so big so fast.
What happened, and again, and I really mean this, Alex, I started my Twitter page a year ago in June because I was going to go to the World Series of Poker and play. And I was going to tweet my journey, because as a prosecutor and as an attorney, I don't use social media because I don't want a lot of people I put in jail are just going to be getting out soon. And so, I don't want them to find me. So I was not in the Twitter game at all. I explained earlier how I saw Michael Moore, and I've been watching how CNN has just, gone down the slippery slope, just as our legal system has. So when he literally called out and stated as fact that our president was a rapist, and that we as conservative American citizens, now they know who they're targeting. It's Trump supporters or conservative Americans, that we are complicit to rape. It pissed me off. And I got up, the first thing I did is I called my little nephew, because, the up and comers, the millennials, they're good on this Twitter stuff. And I'm like, Corey, what should I do? And the first thing he said to me, and Alex, this will come as a compliment. He said, Joni, you've got to get Alex Jones on this. And I said, who is Alex Jones? 3 weeks ago. Now I am intimate with you, Alex, and you didn't know that, but I had no idea who you were. And so what has happened, Alex, is that as when I first did my first Periscope, I think it was 19 days ago. It says on Periscope. I was ticked. And I was just going down the causes of action, the death of, and a lot of those were, while they pertain to the case, they weren't the stuff that was really going to stick. And Alex, I'm going to tell you something. Trust me, I don't want to start shouting. My mom and dad my mom's a preacher, so I'm a daughter of a preacher. We won't get into that. That leaves a whole bunch of stuff. But I want to tell you something. The more that I've got looking at this, listen, Alex, they are basing, okay? They are basing this false reporting, and CNN. I mean, they've gone desperate now. They're staging news stories, and what they have done is they are basing what they're doing on two Supreme Court cases. The one is Brandenburg v. Ohio, and it happened right here, one street over from where I am in my office right now, and then also Texas v. Johnson. Now do we have a break coming up? Tell me if I need to hush.
No, you're great. I'm going to hold you over because Mike Cernovich is coming in, and he's been wanting to sue him as well. He's been listed, along with myself, directly in there with the white supremacists. So he's coming in. So we'll be able to continue. We're going to break in 1 minute, though.
Okay, great. Well, I'll just tell you that a little teaser for break. I have 2 cases now that I am so excited. They're Supreme Court cases. They've been around for a long time. Brandenburg since 1969. It's time that our legal system get on the ball and get up to date with what's going on in our world. And it's time that you have somebody that's not afraid to be a case of first impression to go after them. And that's what's going to happen in CNN. You better watch it, because I'm coming after you, and I've got some solid grounds to do it.
That's right. Joni Turner, former prosecutor, a respected lawyer, JoniTurnerLaw.com. You can follow her on Twitter at JoniTurnerLaw. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've been shot at, if you've been fired, if you've been beat up, if you've been called a Nazi, especially if you've got a police report or whatever, you need to sign on to this lawsuit, because I've been telling you, we need to sue, and I'm going to sue. I'm just looking, because we got a lot of really strong cases. I've been hurt bad. $7 million now that we didn't bring in this year to fund this operation because of these